Coach, you wanted to finish it up early if you could, but all around it looks like pitching, defense, and offense is looking pretty good, right?
You know, it's when you can have the third starter come out and shut them down. You know, they can swing it pretty good. You've seen it. They've won more games this year than they've ever won before, and they're tough. So, but for Andy to come out and give us some really good innings and be able to rest, you know, the two big dogs going into the tournament. So it says a lot about the team getting behind her. And then the hitting was very timely, you know, and execution-wise was good, but the defense has really been looking good. Coach Novice probably secured herself another year of contract, so it's good to see that.
Speaking of defense, the moment there, was it pre-planned, getting Alana a little bit of a curtain call?
You know, sometimes, you know, at my age, these things pop into your head, and you're like, you know, there's no better way to honor the little toy cannon that we have playing shortstop, and she's really the heart and soul of what we do. She's so even-keeled. You know, that's the Leroy Selman Award winner right there.
Yes.
And, I mean, that's the biggest award you could ever win at USF, you know, and for our shortstop to go out there and be recognized by the crowd as that leader, that unsung leader. I don't get emotional a lot, but, you know, I looked at her and I didn't know what to say, except I just grabbed her and hugged her. They kind of knew what was going on, so it was pretty special.
Pretty apropos that actually Camille almost made it a threefer, but you guys got to the program tying record for home runs today.
How about
Is that something you could have foreseen from this team? Did you feel that it had that kind of line?
Well, I knew we had the opportunities to buy into a different approach this year, and they did. You know, and if I told you that the reason we're hitting all the home runs or we're getting a lot of extra base hits, so forth, is because we probably bunt 240 times a day. You know, and so a lot can be said for the eyes and seeing space and time and those type of things. So everybody wants to talk about, oh, what are you doing differently with the body and this and that. You know what? The eyes can tell you the story of depth, dimensions, mathematics, and angles in our game. And if you can accomplish that, you've gotten probably 80% of the game.
Wow. And then a couple that didn't have hits today, but doing what they're doing at 9-1, KGS and Olivia. Speak about what they've been bringing and continue to.
Well, you know what? I mean, just you think about just the ability to play, right? The ability to play ball and then make others around you better. And they do those type of things. So it's really, really fun. And then, you know, the Wilkes sisters. This is so. Jocelyn and Alexandra would walk into my office, and Jocelyn would walk in first, and she would say, well, your favorite Wilkes is here. And I'm like, no. And then Alexandra would walk in. She goes, I know, your favorite Wilkes is walking in. And I'm like, no. And then just so happened that Casey, who's coming here next year, was on campus and walked in. She goes, well, that's pretty easy. And I'm like, you guys don't get it. None of you are. And they're like, what? I go, it's your mom.
Thank you.
That's my favorite Wilkes, all right? Come on now. Let's be real about this. So, yeah. That they're, for Joss to come off, she works so hard. You know, for Joss to come off the bench and get two big RBIs, and they really were two big RBIs. So, you know, the team's feeling good about themselves right now.
And one more for me, you mentioned resting your big dogs. When you get a bye to the semis, things set up pretty well from a pitching perspective. How do you like that angle of it?
I do. I like it a lot, you know, because they've worked so hard. But when you get Monday, or basically the rest of Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from high-level stress throwing, you know, because they're already there. They've built the callus up. They're, you know, in good shape, cardiovascular-wise, this and that. But just to take off the day and not do anything. Like tomorrow's completely off day. The rest of today's off day. So when we talk about rest and recovery, it's not just a day, right? It's actually, you basically have like 58 hours before you're throwing again. That's big. And so now their job is to go in and get treatment and do the things they have to do, massage therapy and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it helps us a lot.
Thanks, Ken.
I can hear him.
He was fantastic.
No, you can. I'll tell you. I'll answer it before.
Did you guys already talk about Anne?
No.
Oh, let's
Boom.
just kind of just your evaluation of Anne today.
Steady, you know. And before the game, you know, we talked about like Anne. The only thing that's going to keep us from doing what we do is walks and errors, right? Second inning, you know, and then we come in, but. You know, she was relentless today, and she was so cool, and she gets that because her teammates love her, you know, and she's such a good teammate, and I can't really wait to watch her continue to develop because we've put her in high leverage positions this year, you know, Michigan, Louisville, Florida, you know, FAU, she shut them down, North Texas, she did a great job, you know, winning that game, that crazy game, so it was really cool to see what she did today.
Tied a program record in home runs with 49 today, on pace to break that record. Just how proud are you of this team's ability to kind of layer on the offense in different ways?
Not one of them goes up there trying to hit a home run. I can tell you that right now, so they're all going up there to try to get collision, and I was talking to Aaron Judge 2 years ago during the strike, or 3 years ago during the strike, and we were talking, he's a great guy, and he said, why I hit so many home runs? Because all I'm trying to do is get on plane, and I didn't want to answer it, but he answered it for me. He goes, because I'm big and I'm strong. Right, yeah, I get it. So your really strong guys in the forearms are the ones that are getting multi-home runs, from Foreman and Wilkes, and Ortiz, so, and the Toy Cannon, when you take a look at her, Rivera's, from her elbows to her fingertips, she's incredibly strong. So they're all they're trying to do is just get on plane. That's all they're trying to do.
Alex had mentioned that after the North Texas series, she kind of had sat down with you and worked on some things and just kind of getting your confidence right. What were some of the things you passed on her and you feel like she took to heart?
Well, the interesting part, I said, I'll meet you down in the batting cage on Tuesday morning. And we went down to the batting cage, her and Joss and myself. And not one time did I stay there and center toss to her or go off a tee with her. We just talked about where you're at and your comfortability of your approaches, because right now it seems like you're trying too hard. When you're trying too hard, the right side of your body is getting in the way, and that's what's causing a lot of pop-ups and flies. So she went just back to going, on plane and through and not trying to too much. And man, golly, she hit the ball. So, but she's got that capability. And sometimes, once again, hitting's not easy. And so there's going to be these type of things through the entire year, and how you can maintain that. Like today was a great example. Like KP, right, didn't have 2 good at-bats. Comes up and gets a good one, right? So can you maintain that level and not get too emotional? And that's that maturity level once again, right? Can't wait till they're juniors. Right?
Exactly. And then just going into the conference tournament now, you guys get a chance to host. I know we've talked a lot about this, but to have a sweep going into that, how good does that feel?
Right. Let me tell you, right there. This was a big one. People don't realize that this is a big one because you can't falter, and they're not a 183. RPI. No, we've played teams. They're not a 183, but because they were awful in the beginning, and Van's done a great job of bringing them where they're going, right? They maintained a 183. Okay, but you can't falter on that. So you got to keep your quad wins up. And avoid the bad L's. And interesting part of the year was people were saying, man, that Siena loss is going to hurt you. I'm like, people, do you realize how good Siena is? You take a look at where they're at. They're not too bad. And so I thought we did a great job against our regular season schedule.
Sam got a base knock in his start today. Just take me through this one for you. How does it feel?
Oh, it just feels amazing. I've been working really hard, putting in the extra work with Navi, literally every single day. And just going up to the plate, I was like, just get Kathy over and hopefully get on at the same time. So it just felt really good to be able to go in and do my job.
Yeah. How does it feel to get a sweep to finish the season?
Oh my gosh, it feels so amazing. We just wanted to come out there and beat them and give us a really good shot at, sweeping today, so it was just really nice.
Your outfield's so talented, and I see you and the Graces, they're always ready to come into the game at any moment. It might be tough, some would think, to have to sit the bench, but you guys always look enthusiastic and ready.
Yeah, no, we always try to keep a positive mindset. It just helps win. We got to go in there at any point in time, and so we just always try to keep a positive attitude and just do it for our team.
And is that as fast as you've gotten to first base? Because they didn't even try a throw.
I know, that was so crazy. Navi told me that as soon as I got to first, and I was like, it just comes to a surprise when people don't see you play, and then they watch you go by, and they're like, oh my gosh, she's already there. So.
Well, you mentioned we're working on the bunt part of things with her, but how much do you work on the speed? Where does that come from?
I did a lot of strength conditioning growing up, but I've just always had it, so.
Keep it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Alex, I kind of want to start with after you got your hit, you got to see Jocelyn go up, and then she also gets a run scoring extra base hit. How cool was that from your perspective to watch?
It was so unbelievable. Jocelyn works so hard. I don't think anyone understands. She is literally the hardest worker that I ever known, ever met in person. So to see her, that ball get through, and her get on second, it was so awesome.
Is there something about a UTSA logo that just gets you grand slams? I mean, you did it last year, and now you've done it again here. What is it in those spots that you've been able to succeed?
Just some hard work going on behind the scenes. I feel like I was seeing the ball pretty good this weekend, so just trying to relax at the plate and drive something low and hard.
And Coach had told us that one of the big things you guys worked on was kind of almost not doing too much with your swing, and a lot of what you do in the cages was more conversation-based. Do you feel like that kind of came through on the Grand Slam?
I think so. I think it comes through in all of my at-bats just because softball is such a mental thing, and I think the last couple of weeks I've just been getting in my head a little bit and just trying to do too much and not really allowing the game to come to me. So just relaxing and settling in at the plate really helped me out.
Probably didn't know this, but your home run gave your school 49, which is tying a season record.
Oh, that's
now,
awesome.
He says you guys don't go up there looking to hit home runs. Explain that sort of mental approach.
No, Coach Eriksen always says hitting a home run's an accident, and so
a lot of accidents.
Yeah, I just think a lot of what we try and do is hit it low and hard somewhere, because once it gets in the air, it can always get caught. But anything on the ground, if you hit it low and hard, something good could happen.
He also told us about how you were trying to do too much, but I think what he said to you worked. How has your confidence risen over these last few days?
I definitely think my confidence has risen. Hearing what he has to talk to me about in the cage that one day really put belief in me, and just knowing, I always know that he believes in each one of us, but just hearing it I think is another thing. And I think that up to the plate just makes me want to work even harder for him and harder for the team.
And the last thing you probably didn't hear me said the most valuable Wilkes on the team is your mom. Did she drive you guys towards softball?
I think it was just in our blood as it is. Yeah. But no, Mom and Dad, they're a huge part in our lives. They push us beyond no measures, and they're always willing to take us to practice, take us to workouts, anything like that.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And an opportunity to start, pitched in all 3 games this weekend. Just for you, what was working?
I feel like my drop ball was really working, and my changeup was. My curveball was kind of iffy, but I got it to work in a few pitches. So.
Is there a pitch you've been working on all season that you feel like has come along, or anything specific you've kind of focused in on down the stretch?
My drop ball, definitely. I kind of lost it in the middle of the season, I felt, so I kind of got it back. I feel more confident with it and everything.
How much confidence does this defense give you when they're at their best? Because obviously they turn a ton of double plays, and you have Kathy back there who does incredible stuff, and Alana. Can you talk a little about how they inspire confidence in you?
Yeah, I don't even question it, I guess. I know that they'll do anything that they can do to get the ball and get out, so I think it's just we'll have a good relationship, and yeah, I don't know.
Apart from the actual defensive plays they make, how much is their communication and the rapport and all that kind of stuff big for you and helpful for you?
Yeah, so every time we turn around, they kind of tell me hey, I'm here, if the ball comes to you or whatever, or telling me where to go, so I feel like that helps me just keeping it in my head. Yeah.
Yesterday you came into a big situation. I know they got the hit with that strikeout on the 5th 3-2 pitch, pressure situation. Last Sunday, huge against North Texas. How has it felt for you in these pressure situations? Because you're coming out pretty well in there.
Thank you. I just try to kind of stay calm and stay inside myself, not do too much. But yeah, also I have my defense behind me, so I feel like they kind of calm me down. I look to Karis most of the time. She tells me to breathe. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you very